The Nexus Confederation's Deep Space Monitoring Station, Epsilon 7, hung motionless against the backdrop of distant stars, its crystalline spires reflecting the light of 3 nearby suns. Inside, Senior Observer Veller's sensory tendrils twitched as unprecedented readings flooded his monitoring screens. The vessel that had just appeared at the edge of their space defied every classification protocol in the Confederation's extensive database. Impossible, Veller whispered, his outer membrane shifting from its usual calm blue to an agitated purple. Second Observer Kira, verify these readings. Kira, her crystalline form catching the soft light of the station's bioluminescent panels, moved to the primary sensor array. Confirmed, Senior Observer. The vessel's whole composition includes elements we've never encountered. Its drive signature. She paused, recalibrating her instruments. It's as if it's barely touching normal space. The unknown ship maintained a precise distance from the station, its sleek obsidian hull seeming to drink in the light of the 3 suns. Unlike the flowing, organic designs of Confederation vessels, this ship was all sharp angles and purposeful geometry. Most disturbing were the numerous ports along its hull that the station's AI flagged as potential weapons systems. Initiate First Contact Protocol Gamma 3, Veller ordered, following procedures that had served the Confederation well for over 3 millennia. The station's communications array came to life, broadcasting the carefully crafted message of peace and welcome in all known frequencies and formats. The response came almost instantly, bypassing the station's translation matrices entirely. Nexus Confederation Station Epsilon 7. This is Captain Sarah Chen of the Earth ship Hyperion. We acknowledge your greeting and request permission to establish diplomatic relations. The control room fell silent. No species had ever responded in perfect Confederation standard before, much less known their designation and protocols. Veller's tendrils coiled tightly against his body, a sign of deep distress. Earth ship Hyperion. He transmitted, your presence here is unexpected. Our records show no prior contact with your species. Please explain your knowledge of our language and protocols. The human ship maintained its position, but Veller noticed its energy signature shift slightly, adapting to match the harmonic frequencies of the station's defensive shields. It was a subtle gesture that demonstrated both advanced technological capability and a deep understanding of Confederation systems. We've been studying your civilization for some time, Captain Chen replied, her voice carrying a warmth that seemed at odds with her ship's intimidating appearance. We believe in thorough preparation before making first contact. However, recent events have accelerated our timeline. Before Veller could respond, Second Observer Kira interrupted. Senior Observer, we're detecting unusual activity in the nearby stellar medium. The human vessel's presence appears to be affecting quantum-level interactions in a way our sensors can't fully analyze. Captain Chen. Veller transmitted, his voice steady despite his growing unease. We request that you power down your primary systems and prepare for boarding, as per standard first contact protocols. The response was polite but firm. I apologize, but we'll have to decline. Our ship's systems must remain active to maintain our current mission. Perhaps we could suggest an alternative. We're detecting a rather interesting anomaly forming in your sector, one that might benefit from our combined attention. As if on cue, alarms began blaring throughout the station. The space between Epsilon 7 and the Hyperion started to twist, reality itself seeming to fold in ways that made Veller's sensory organs ache. The human ship's response was immediate, moving with impossible grace to position itself between the station and the growing distortion. What we're looking at, Captain Chen transmitted, her voice now carrying an edge of urgency, is what we call a space-time incursion. We've been tracking similar phenomena across this sector, which is why we chose to accelerate first contact. With your permission, we'd like to demonstrate why humanity might make a valuable ally to the Confederation. Veller watched in fascination as the Hyperion's hull began to shimmer with patterns of energy he'd never seen before. The human ship was revealing capabilities that went far beyond anything in the Confederation's understanding of physics, and yet they had chosen to use this power not for aggression, but for protection. The senior observer made a decision that would change the course of Confederation history. "Captain Chen," he transmitted, "please proceed with your demonstration. And welcome to Confederation space." The space-time incursion pulsed with otherworldly energy, its swirling vortex threatening to tear apart the fabric of reality around Station Epsilon 7. The Earth ship Hyperion hung between the station and the anomaly, its obsidian hull now alive with streams of iridescent energy that seemed to bend the light of the three suns. Initiating containment protocols, Captain Chen's voice came through with perfect clarity despite the quantum interference from the anomaly. "Station Epsilon 7, we're detecting unusual harmonic resonances in your shield matrix. Would you be willing to sync your defensive systems with ours? It could increase our containment efficiency by roughly 43%. Veller's tendrils writhed in internal debate. Sharing shield frequencies with an unknown species went against every security protocol in the Confederation handbook. Yet the humans had already demonstrated both superior technology and a willingness to protect the station. Senior observer, Kira's crystalline form pulsed with urgency. "The anomaly is growing exponentially. Our models predict catastrophic station failure in 17 minutes if it remains unchecked. Transmit the frequencies," Veller ordered, his outer membrane shifting to the deep green of decisive action. As soon as the data transferred, the Hyperion's energy field shifted, perfectly harmonizing with the station's defenses. The effect was immediate and stunning. The combined shield harmonics created a containment field unlike anything the Confederation had ever achieved. The anomaly's wild energies began to stabilize, its destructive potential gradually diminishing under the precise control of human technology. "Fascinating approach to shield harmonics," Captain Chen commented, as if they were discussing theoretical physics rather than preventing a potential catastrophe. "Your crystalline-based technology has some unique properties we haven't encountered before. Mind if we try something?" Without waiting for a response, the Hyperion began moving in a complex pattern around the anomaly. Each position it took seemed random at first, but Veller's scientific training helped him recognize an emerging pattern. The human ship was creating a multidimensional geometric structure around the distortion, using the combined shield harmonics as framework. "What you're witnessing," Chen explained, her voice carrying a hint of pride, "is what we call quantum architecture. We found that space-time responds to certain geometric patterns at the quantum level. Combined with your crystalline tech, we might be able to do more than just contain this thing." The control room screens filled with data streams as the Hyperion shared its analysis in real time. Veller and his crew watched in amazement as complex mathematical models far beyond their current understanding unfolded before them. The humans weren't just sharing their technology. They were teaching the Confederation how to understand it. "There," Chen said with satisfaction as the anomaly began to collapse in on itself, shrinking to a point of light before winking out of existence. "Crisis averted. Now about those diplomatic relations we mentioned." Veller's scientific curiosity overcame his diplomatic caution. "Captain Chen, your ship's capabilities are extraordinary, yet our scans suggest you're only using a fraction of your available power. Why show such restraint?" The human captain's laugh carried warmth even through the comm system. "Observer Veller, humanity learned long ago that the true measure of advancement isn't in how much power you can wield, but in how precisely you can control it. We could have simply blasted that anomaly with raw energy, but the collateral damage would have been unacceptable. Besides," she continued, "we found that the most lasting relationships are built on trust and mutual respect, not demonstrations of force. Speaking of which, our sensors indicate similar anomalies forming in other parts of Confederation space. We'd be happy to help you deal with them, and perhaps exchange some technological insights along the way." As the Hyperion's hull shifted back to its normal obsidian sheen, Veller realized he was witnessing a pivotal moment in Confederation history. The humans hadn't just shown them new technology. They had demonstrated a philosophy of power that challenged centuries of Confederation thinking. High Command must be informed, Kira stated, her crystalline form still processing the vast amounts of data the humans had shared. Agreed, Veller said, his tendrils finally relaxing from their stress position. Captain Chen, would you be willing to accompany us to Central Command? I believe the Council will be very interested in discussing these anomalies and the possibility of a broader alliance. The Hyperion's response was to slowly rotate, presenting its least armed side to the station in what Veller now recognized as a gesture of trust. We would be honored, Observer Veller. Though I should warn you, humanity has a habit of challenging assumptions and asking difficult questions. Are you sure the Council is ready for that? Veller's outer membrane shifted to the blue of amusement. Captain, after what we've just witnessed, I don't think the Council has much choice in the matter. The universe is clearly more complex than we imagined, and perhaps it's time the Confederation learned to embrace a little complexity. The Confederation's Central Archives, a towering spire of living crystal in the heart of the Council complex, had never been so active. Chief Archivist Mira's crystalline form pulsed with excitement as she processed the data streaming in from Earth. Her research team had spent the past 3 days analyzing the historical records Captain Chen had provided, and each new discovery left them more astounded. Impossible, Council Member Zex declared, his gelatinous form rippling with disbelief as he reviewed the footage of an Earth thunderstorm. No sentient species could evolve in such conditions. The atmospheric violence alone would prevent civilization from developing. Captain Chen, standing calmly beside a window that overlooked the crystalline spires of the Council City, smiled slightly. And yet we did. Those storms you're watching. We learned to predict them, to harness their energy. Every challenge Earth presented became a stepping stone to advancement. The archival chamber's displays showed scenes that made the assembled Council members shift uncomfortably. Massive waves crashing against coastlines, volcanoes spewing rivers of molten rock, earthquakes reshaping entire continents. Earth wasn't just a challenging world. By Confederation standards, it was a death trap. Your species survived all this? Mira asked, her fascination overwhelming proper protocol. But how did you maintain technological progress with such constant destruction? We adapted, Chen replied, walking to one of the displays showing ancient human cities. Each disaster taught us something new. Earthquakes led to better building techniques. Storms pushed us to develop advanced weather prediction. Volcanoes taught us about Earth's core, leading to geothermal energy. The next series of images caused several Council members to recoil. They showed humans at war with each other, conflicts spanning centuries of development. But what caught Mira's attention wasn't the destruction. It was the pattern of innovation that followed each conflict. Your wars, she observed, her outer layers shifting through analytical patterns. They drove technological advancement at an unprecedented rate. But then, she gestured to more recent footage, showing peaceful human cities, unified space programs, and ultimately, ships like the Hyperion. Then we grew up, Chen finished for her. We realized that the same drive that helped us survive could be turned toward exploration and discovery. The technology that could destroy worlds could also save them, like the anomaly we contained at Epsilon 7. Council Member Zex moved closer to the displays, his natural caution warring with curiosity. Your ship's quantum architecture technology. It developed from these survival adaptations. In a way, Chen acknowledged. When you evolve on a world that's constantly trying to kill you, you learn to think differently about the forces of nature. We don't just try to overcome them. We learn to work with them, to understand them at their most fundamental level. Mira's analytical processes suddenly made a connection. The restraint you showed at Epsilon 7, it wasn't just diplomatic protocol, was it? You've learned the hard way about the responsible use of power. The human captain's expression grew serious. Exactly. Earth taught us that raw power without control leads to destruction. We developed our technology not to dominate nature, but to understand and work with it. The anomalies you're experiencing now, they're similar to phenomena we faced during our early quantum experiments. We learned to handle them not through force, but through understanding. The chamber fell silent as a new piece of data appeared on the main display, a complete analysis of Earth's current state. Despite its harsh conditions, the planet had been transformed. Cities floated on ocean currents, drawing power from their motion. Massive weather control systems worked with natural patterns rather than against them. Humanity had turned their death world into a testament to the power of adaptation. "There's something else you should see," Chen said, nodding to Mira. The chief archivist activated a final data stream, showing the spread of similar anomalies across Confederation space. These disturbances aren't random. They're symptoms of a larger cosmic phenomenon, one that Earth's harsh conditions actually helped us understand. The universe is changing, and the Confederation's peaceful worlds haven't prepared you for what's coming. Council member Zex's form rippled with alarm. "Are you suggesting?" "I'm suggesting," Chen interrupted gently, "that perhaps the Confederation needs what humanity has learned from our harsh history, and perhaps we need your perspective too. The challenges ahead require both our strength and your wisdom." Mira watched the reactions ripple through the council members. The data was undeniable. Humanity's journey from their death world had forged them into something unique in the galaxy. Their technology, their philosophy, even their approach to diplomacy had been shaped by Earth's crucible. "Captain," she said, her form glowing with the blue of revelation, "I believe we need to expand our archives. Humanity's story. It changes everything we thought we knew about survival, adaptation, and progress." Chen smiled, looking out at the peaceful Confederation city. "That's the thing about progress, Archivist Mira. It often comes from the most unexpected places, even a death world that taught its children to dance with storms." The Confederation's primary quantum monitoring station erupted into chaos as alerts flashed across every screen. The network of anomalies they'd been tracking had suddenly synchronized, creating a cascading wave of space-time distortions that threatened to tear apart the fabric of reality across 3 sectors. "Multiple critical breaches detected," announced the station's AI, its crystalline matrix pulsing with urgent patterns. "Confederation defensive protocols are failing. Estimated time to catastrophic failure, 6 hours, 17 minutes. Captain Chen stood at the center of the crisis room, surrounded by both human and Confederation officers. The holographic display showed the spreading wave of destruction in real time. Colonies evacuating, trade routes collapsing, entire star systems becoming unstable. "The anomalies are linking together," Senior Observer Viller noted, his tendrils weaving complex patterns of distress. "They're forming some kind of network, amplifying each other's effects exponentially. Just like the cascade simulations we ran on Earth," Chen muttered, her eyes fixed on the display. "During the quantum storms of 2157, she turned to address the assembled team. "We've seen this before in a way. When we first developed quantum architecture technology, we accidentally created a similar cascade effect in Earth's atmosphere." Mira's crystalline form shifted forward, data streams flowing through her transparent structure. "But you survived. You found a solution." "We did," Chen confirmed, "but it required something the Confederation might find uncomfortable. We had to work with the cascade, not against it. Traditional containment won't work. It'll only feed the reaction." The station shuddered as another wave of distortions rippled through space. Emergency force fields snapped into place as microfractures appeared in the quantum-reinforced walls. "We're running out of options," Veller stated, his usual diplomatic caution giving way to urgency. "What do you propose, Captain?" Chen's fingers danced across the holographic controls, pulling up schematics of both human and Confederation technology. "We need to combine our approaches. The Hyperion's quantum architecture systems working in concert with your crystalline technology. But more than that, we need to create a bridge between our different ways of thinking." She gestured to the display, highlighting the pattern of the anomalies. Look at how they're moving. It's not chaos. It's a language. The universe is trying to tell us something, but we're all too busy trying to fight it to listen. The assembled officers watched as Chen began reconfiguring the station's defensive systems. The Hyperion, still docked outside, powered up its quantum core, synchronizing with the station's crystalline matrix in ways that shouldn't have been possible. What you call anomalies, Chen explained as she worked, we learned to see as opportunities. On Earth, we couldn't control the storms or the earthquakes, so we learned to ride them instead. We need to do the same thing here. Turn the cascade into a controlled quantum current. Mira's analytical processes suddenly made the connection. Like your ocean cities on Earth, working with the waves instead of trying to break them. Exactly, Chen smiled. Velar, I need your people to reconfigure your crystalline networks. Don't try to block the quantum flow. Channel it. Mira, your archives must have records of natural phenomenon throughout Confederation history. We need those patterns. 1 year after the quantum cascade event, the Confederation's Central Command had transformed. Where once crystalline spires reached rigidly toward the stars, now they flowed in organic curves that merged Confederation precision with human adaptability. The newly established quantum network hub buzzed with activity as ships from both civilizations navigated the pathways they had helped the universe create. Captain Chen stood before the Confederation High Council, her dress uniform gleaming under the crystal-filtered light. The chamber looked different now. Human holographic displays complementing the traditional crystalline architecture, a physical representation of how both species had changed each other. The network has exceeded all expectations, Chen reported, gesturing to the three-dimensional map floating above the council table. Travel times between systems have been reduced by 87%, and we're discovering new quantum pathways forming naturally. The universe, it seems, has more to teach us. High Counselor Velar, recently promoted for his role in the crisis, let his tendrils flow in patterns of satisfaction. And the anomalies. We've stopped calling them that, Chen smiled. They're quantum seeds now, natural phenomena that, when properly understood, help us expand the network. We've identified 3 new ones in the past month alone. The map shifted to show the location of these quantum seeds, each one pulsing with potential. What once inspired fear now represented opportunity, a lesson both species had learned well. More importantly, Mira added, her crystalline form now adorned with traces of human-designed quantum technology. We've begun to understand why they appeared when they did. The universe isn't static, it evolves. Our civilizations met because we both needed to learn this lesson. The chamber's displays filled with data from the past year's discoveries. Human ships, their quantum architecture now enhanced by Confederation crystalline technology, worked alongside Confederation vessels that had adopted the fluid, adaptive approaches of human design. Each civilization had maintained its unique identity while growing stronger through collaboration. There's something else, Chen said, her expression growing thoughtful. We've detected similar quantum seed patterns near other civilizations, all appearing within the last standard year. We believe the universe itself is entering a new phase of evolution, one that requires species to adapt and work together. The council chamber hummed with excited energy as the implications sank in. The partnership between humans and the Confederation wasn't just about their own survival. It was part of a greater cosmic shift. Which brings us to our proposal, Velar announced, rising to join Chen. We recommend establishing the Joint Academy, the Quantum Evolution Institute, a place where both our species can study these changes together, teaching each other our unique perspectives. The holographic display shifted again, showing plans for a massive structure that would orbit the space between Earth and Confederation territory. Its design reflected both cultures. Flowing crystalline spires merged with adaptive human architecture, creating something entirely new. The Institute will be more than a research facility, Chen explained. It will be a bridge between our worlds, teaching Confederation scientists how to embrace chaos and change, while humans learn the value of structure and harmony. Together, we'll prepare for whatever the universe has in store next. Mira's form pulsed with scholarly excitement as she added, "We've already seen remarkable results from early collaboration. Human intuition combined with Confederation precision has led to breakthroughs in quantum mechanics that neither species could have achieved alone." The council chamber filled with approving light patterns as members discussed the proposal. The fear that had initially greeted humanity's arrival had transformed into deep respect and genuine curiosity. A year ago, Chen reflected, "I stood in this chamber trying to convince you that humanity's harsh history was a strength, not a weakness. Now I understand that the real strength lies in bringing different perspectives together. The universe isn't just about survival. It's about evolution, adaptation, and growth." Veller's tendrils formed the pattern for profound agreement. "Perhaps that is the greatest lesson we've learned. The Confederation sought stability, while humanity embraced change. Now we understand that true progress requires both." The final vote was unanimous. As the council chamber erupted in celebrations, Chen looked out at the quantum pathways visible in the evening sky, beautiful ribbons of light connecting distant stars. They were no longer just travel routes. They were symbols of something greater. The bridges built between different ways of thinking, the fusion of stability and chaos, the endless possibilities that arose when different species chose to learn from each other rather than fear their differences. "You know," Chen said to Veller as they watched construction ships begin work on the Institute, "Earth taught us that the most beautiful things often come from the harshest conditions. But you taught us that beauty can also come from harmony and understanding." "And together," Veller replied, his tendrils forming a pattern humans had come to recognize as a smile, "we've learned that the universe has endless lessons to teach, if we're willing to learn them." Above them, another quantum seed bloomed in space, its energy patterns a perfect blend of chaos and order. Neither human nor Confederation technology warned of danger this time. Instead, their combined systems recognized it for what it was, an invitation to the next stage of cosmic evolution, waiting for those who had learned to bridge their differences and face the unknown together.